Hi, so we're going to talk about the curriculum. So it's a big 5+1. So the first one is boxed curriculum. So the other night you heard something about creative curriculum, and that is a boxed curriculum. There are many, many varieties of boxed curriculum. And what they're good for is basically new teachers and to provide a step-by-step overview of a day. So it gives you scope and sequence of written and developmental progression in mind. And there are drawbacks to that. So it limited academic freedom, not only for children, but for you as the teacher. And then it also implies that there's a one size fits all approach to education. So it doesn't bring in variances of individuality or culture. Next is thematic curriculum. So it's theme driven. So if your theme was apples or fall leaves or something, it really is surrounded throughout the whole theme in the classroom. So it should show integrated skills of development and content area, which means if you're doing apples as your theme, you would see it in science, you would see it in math, you might see it apples items in block area, like whether or not they're wooden apples or plastic apples. You would see that in your math manipulatives area, art. So all around the curriculum, you would see different varieties of apples and how that looks. Emergent curriculum really focuses on what students are interested in at that time. So a teacher might have something in mind if students are a little bit wavering on different ideas. But if something really interests them, the curriculum automatically goes to that interest. So whether or not you planned to do apples, but there's construction outside your classroom or on the way to your school or program, then you would probably switch it over and do construction because that's what the children are going to be talking about. That's what they're interested in. That's what they see. And that really brings in that sensory hands-on first experience knowledge to them. Okay, inquiry-based curriculum. So there's 4 levels of inquiry-based curriculum. It's confirmation of inquiry, structured inquiry, guided inquiry, and open and true inquiry. So this is really science focused. It is throughout the classroom, just like a thematic unit, but it develops on new knowledge and supports previous knowledge. And it helps children develop questions, make observations, construct research, develop methods. It is really a holistic point of view and very much science focused. Project-based. So project-based curriculum is large-scale projects that demonstrate learning competencies in a variety of ways. So students must see the work as meaningful or it will not be a long-term project. The project should be educational, and this could be anything. I've seen project-based curriculum where children try to figure out how to reconstruct something that they've seen in their community, and it will take them weeks and weeks and weeks to do it. You have to have the space and the ability to not have to clean that up at the end of the day, because project-based curriculum is really about the process and it is long-term. So not all projects, especially with children, are small in scale. And so it's best to have an area or a space that doesn't require cleanup and can really pull out that progress based. Okay. And then integrated curriculum. So integrated curriculum is a little bit like thematic curriculum in that you will see everything throughout the classroom. Also, inquiry-based curriculum is like that as well. However, with integrated curriculum, it's really teachers teaching math through music. So bringing out those math songs, even like five speckled frogs, right? There's a number and typically you count down. And so there's math integrated. Teaching science through art. So what does it look like when you mix colors together, or you take an eyedropper and you mix different watercolors together? What happens when you build something with a dough based and you cook it or you add water to it? So there's that science element within the art. And then building language skills while discussing social studies related topics. And there was some conversation the other night about social studies, and social studies really for children is not necessarily the big world, because that's way abstract. Space and time don't mean a lot to children, right? That's why we get words like lasterday and everything seems to happen whenever lasterday was. So they don't really have a concept of time, just like they don't have a concept of space. So a child might know that they live in Tacoma, but where Tacoma is and how big it is, to them, that's their whole world, right? And so when a family member takes them outside of Tacoma, to Seattle or something, it feels like they're going to a different country, because for children, that's a long distance. It's a long time in the car. And so social studies to them is really community. So what does that look like? And you can absolutely pull in community elements and social studies within younger children in preschool. Once they get to first grade, obviously there's space and time continuum is a little bit more realistic. And so then you can start pulling in other surrounding states and a little bit broader areas like, oh, we have a Pacific Ocean by us, or we have Puget Sound by us. And so you can start to get broader. And then as children progress in age, the world just gets bigger and bigger. And then ironically, when you get older, the world seems very small. So those are the big five plus the one, which is the box curriculum. Make sure that you feel comfortable, or if you have questions about this, that you write them down and you're prepared for class on Monday that's coming up. We'll touch on these very briefly just with questions and anything that you need clarification on. Other than that, be ready for class on Monday. We're going to go through developmentally appropriate practices and start in on infant and toddler curriculum. So have a great week.